What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today is October 1st, the day that this is being recorded, and times are weird. Times are very weird. So in the spirit of preparedness and prepping for the worst, we're going to be doing a review of the MRE Star MREs. So like I said in the beginning of the video, guys, times are weird. And times have been weird for about 5 years, or even more so now. We had COVID and the Summer of Love. We had Hurricane Helene, along with many other natural disasters. We have wars on multiple continents. And then, of course, as of today, October 1st, the U.S. government sees another shutdown, the sixth in recent history. And political tensions are at an all-time high. And of course, taking steps to better your preparedness is extremely important. And in the spirit of October, it may be spooky season, it may be the heart of fall. More importantly, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And MRE Star did send us this MRE as a part of their Pink Spoon campaign to do a review on and help highlight their efforts to help breast cancer awareness. So if you are not aware of who MRE Star is, they are an American company that manufacture MREs here at home. And this month, they are donating the proceeds to their Pink Spoon campaign MREs to breast cancer awareness research and hopefully, doing some work towards all of that. During the month of October, you can purchase their Pink Spoon campaign MREs, and instead of the traditional old brown spoon, it comes with a pink spoon to help highlight their cause for that. Like I said before, they did send me this MRE, but as always, this does not affect my review or my opinions on a product whenever we do this type of video here on the YouTube channel. And for those of you that have never eaten MREs before, you will know that they range from really bad to decently okay. There is definitely no fantastic MREs, but there are some decent ones, and it really kind of depends on the company that you get your MREs from, and then, of course, how old that MRE might be. For those that don't know, MRE stands for Meals Ready to Eat, and it's the pretty stereotypical staple for the military and their field rations. And there's been various types of MREs throughout the years, and they've really come a long way. Even from, the initial invasion of Iraq during the first Iraqi war in the 90s to early GWAT to past to the 2010s, MREs have changed a ton. The quality of the sides, the quality of the entree, the types of sides and desserts and everything that come with it. So MREs have come a long way. And MREs are somewhere between 1,000 to maybe 1,400 calories, depending on the manufacturer that you get them from. Typically, if you are issued 2 MREs, that is the calories that you would need as a military-age male in a working environment for the day to try and maintain some level of energy and then your typical weight standard that you normally carry yourself at. The MREs are normally made up of an entree, some sort of a carbohydrate side, such as crackers or bread or different types of miscellaneous off-brand crackers, and then normally a second side, a dessert, a drink packet of some sort, and then some little utensils and sides. Like I said before, guys, the MRE Star MREs are manufactured here in the United States and exceed the military's expectations for MREs, which is that they should remain shelf stable in standard warehouse conditions for at least 3 years. But according to their website, their own individual and then their third-party research shows that their MREs stay shelf-stable in proper conditions for over 15 years. They sit at right out about 1,200 calories, and you can get them in a box of 12 for $129.99. So before taxes and shipping, you're essentially looking at about $12 per MRE. Now, some people may ask, Jeremy, why do MREs over something like Mountain House meals or Peak Fuel or something like that? And the first big kicker that you're going to get out of an MRE is the calorie density that you're going to get versus some sort of dehydrated or freeze-dried style foods. There's a lot more packed into a much smaller package here. And in addition, you're going to get the sides, the utensils, all that kind of stuff that you're going to need that you don't have to pack on the back end that you might do with some of the other, backpacking camping food style options. With something like this, you're getting the spoon, you're getting the napkins, the salt, pepper packets, the little clean wipes, so on and so forth. And then when it's all said and done, you can put everything back into this thick, durable, brown bag, all of your trash, roll it up nice and tight, and then you can take your trash out with you if it's something where you have to keep it in your pack or, haul it with you, something like that. Some of the Mountain House meals or other style meals can get a little messy and a little harder to clean up at times. So that is a benefit that MREs definitely have. In addition to all that, it is a meal ready to eat. You do not have to add water. You do not have to heat it up. You don't have to mix it. You can eat this straight out of the package. Now, of course, these normally come with heaters. MRE Star does provide an MRE option where it doesn't come with heaters. But as somebody who's eaten quite a few MREs in their day, if you have the time and the availability, heating up an MRE definitely helps raise morale in the field just a little bit more. Something that might make the difference on your spirits for the entire day. But of course, it is not necessary to do so. So let's crack open this MRE and see what all comes with this. The one they sent me is Southwest Chicken, pretty good MRE normally. So let's see what kind of contents we got on the inside. All right, guys, like we said, this is the Pink Spoon campaign MRE for the month of October. It comes with a sticker on the front of this, as well as a pink spoon instead of the traditional, brown spoon. This says peel. Let's see how easy it is to peel open. Oh, that was actually really easy. So, like I said before, Southwest Chicken, guys, let's see what all we have going on in here. So, we have our Southwest Chicken entree. We have our heater. We have our little utensils packet that we talked about. There's our pink spoon for the Pink Spoon campaign. And then you've got your typical napkin, your wipe, little salt and pepper, a little wet nap. Looks like you got a sugar packet. And then you even get a little thing of Smarties in there. Looks like we got oatmeal cookie. This was one of my favorite desserts, actually, when I was in the military eating MREs. The pudding was my first, but an oatmeal cookie was absolutely my second favorite. Tortillas is normally something you'll see come with like any type of Mexican style dish or maybe like shredded barbecue, shredded chicken, anything like that. Tortillas is a really good one. So we have dried fruit mix. I'm not sure if this is going to have nuts in it or not. I'm going to assume it does not. Normally it says so on the packet. It says banana chips, dried papaya chunks, dried pineapple, and that's it. So we'll open it up and we'll see what all we got going on in there. We have grape powder juice drink. And then we have grape jelly. That's an interesting one. Normally with something like this, when you get tortillas, you normally get a cheese or something. I would have much rather preferred to have cheese than grape jelly. But I guess the concept is if you really want to, you can put, jelly on the tortillas. And if maybe you have peanut butter or something in your pack, you can do that. I can't have peanut butter, but that's besides the point. So let's go ahead, and the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to see how this heater holds up. Heaters are kind of tricky. Some of them work really well. Some of them don't work very well. It's kind of a crapshoot from time to time. But as the general instructions for most heaters go, you open the top of the bag, you add the recommended amount of water, fold it over. You're going to lean it against a rock or something. At least that's the traditional military rules for it all. And once it's heated up, you're going to put your main entree into your heater pack, set it to the side, and you can kind of start working on the rest of those. So I'm going to go ahead and start opening up this heater, see what we're working with here. So it says we need to add 2 ounces of water. Is there a line on here? Fill between the lines. Fantastic. Normally we have canteens, but today we just have, bottles of water. Look at that. Fantastic. Add water to heater bag. Ooh, I can already hear it. I can already hear it start to heat up, and this heater is soaking up some of this water. Ow, that's hot already. Okay, well, they get a grade A for for MRE heaters working up. Ow, you can see that. It definitely works. So I'm going to put this to the side here for just a second. I'm going to try not to let any of that water come out. Let's get our entree out. Now, people have different opinions on whether you're supposed to put your entree in the bag or not. I personally adhere to the practice of putting the entree directly into the bag because I think that's how it gets the hottest, the fastest, because it sits right against, that heater. So, sitting against that heater, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the ground and lean it up against a tree. And we're going to let that sit to the side for a second. Let's jump on this mixed fruit here and see what we got going on. I might also take one of these spare water bottles we have here and mix that up and see what that's all about. So, mixed fruit. Yeah, definitely looks like, mango, papaya, banana, whatever it was that said here on the back. You know what? That's actually pretty good. Some of the dry papaya is a little crunchy, and the other fruit is soft and sweet. That's pretty delicious, guys. So, let's take a look at our cookie. Normally you save this for the very last, but since it's a review video, we'll jump ahead of it now. So, props to them. At least this nice MRE, the cookie is not shredded to absolute pieces. It does not look like it has chocolate chips or raisins or anything like that. I would much rather have a plain oatmeal cookie than ever having raisins in cookies. I don't care where you're from or who you are. Raisins do not belong in cookies, everyone. So, let's take a little bit of a bite off this cookie. Man, that's a good cookie. Gentlemen, I'm not going to lie. I normally don't have the greatest standards for MREs. I traditionally eat a lot of Mountain House meals since I've gotten out of the military and I do all this backpacking and tactical training and all this kind of stuff. But I'm actually very pleasantly surprised so far. All right. Oatmeal cookie was a smashing hit. Let's set up our grape drink here. I'm looking at our meal over here on the side. It looks like it's still doing pretty good. All right, here we go. Got a bunch of deer walking around behind me. Don't they know I'm trying to film a YouTube video? Now, obviously, gentlemen, and I have not opened up our utensils bag here yet, but normally we don't want to put any type of powders into our canteens or Nalgene bottles or anything like that, just because it's hard to clean in the field. So normally, you're going to want to put this into a canteen cup, or sometimes MREs come with some sort of a beverage bag. It does not seem like this one does. But again, not at the end of the deal. If you have a good packing list, you should have at least one canteen cup where you can mix this up, and it would be delicious. Let's see how it tastes. Not horrible. Not horrible. Not as impressed with that. It tastes like it's trying to be a grape drink, but not necessarily is a grape drink. And that's just kind of garage temperature water, so slightly cool. But that's okay. That's all right. You know, when you're in the field and it's been a while since you had a normal drink, you're probably going to do a lot better. So this is something I've always found interesting that MREs normally include, and it's crushed red pepper. A lot of guys just like spicy food, so crushed red pepper looks like you have the necessary ingredients to make a field coffee if you need it. It even comes with a little toothpick in here. You've got your salt and pepper, and then you have your hand wipe. Always use your hand wipe, guys. Make sure you clean off your hands before you eat everything. You know, hygiene in the field goes a long way. And then there is our pink spoon that we talked about earlier. And then that. All right. So I guess since I'm going to assume there's probably going to be at least 2 tortillas in here. Aha, I was wrong. There's 3 tortillas in here. They actually feel pretty decent at the moment. Then we have our grape jelly packet. So I'm going to do at least 1 tortilla with grape jelly on it. And we'll see what we're working with here. Just grape jelly on a tortilla, or a tortilla. Sounds a little silly, but let's see what just the quality of the tortilla and the jelly is. That's actually pretty good. Normally, kind of jelly that comes with MREs and stuff isn't very sweet. It's kind of bland, kind of thick and nasty, but this is actually like you just got it out of a fridge or something, and it's pretty sweet, pretty soft. And the tortilla is very soft too. Normally these get kind of stiff, and I'll put them like with my MRE heater just to kind of warm them up a little bit. That's actually really good. I like that. Let's check on our main meal. So I'll be honest, everyone, this was not in there for the full whatever the 10 or 15 minutes the instruction said to heat things up. Or maybe the instruction says the heater will stay good for 15 minutes. This was only in there for, I think, about 4 minutes, and it is piping hot right now. Piping hot. So let's go ahead and just kind of rip off the top of this. That's pretty smooth. That's always good. Sometimes it really sucks to kind of fumble with the entree opener, because sometimes these things don't rip well, and then you make a mess, and it's just not good. Now, I am kind of a picky guy when it comes to my MRE main dishes, but as I've kind of grown up, I've kind of learned to suck that up. So let's see how it tastes. Oh, wow. It's actually really good. So I'm not sure how well you guys can see this, but you basically have your chicken and some little vegetables and whatnot in a sauce. And it looks like there's a mix of rice and then red beans as well. It's actually really good. That's good. Now, this, and again, food is a morale builder in the field, guys. I love taking care of my food in the field. This is one of those situations where I kind of wish this meal came with a cheese spread instead of jelly, whether it's just normal cheese spread or like a jalapeno cheese spread. Because you put this onto a tortilla, you get a little cheese and put that on top of this, that would just be delicious. So now we're on the tortilla. Mm, wow. I'm not bluffing you guys. I always try to be completely honest during these reviews. This is really good. When I get done filming here in a minute, I absolutely will be finishing this entire MRE. Mm. I'm going to finish this and we'll come back and wrap this up. All right, guys, we have tried everything in this MRE other than me finishing off the Smarties, which absolutely will be eaten after I'm done recording. And I'm actually very impressed with the quality of this MRE. Obviously, it's a recent production, it's not 10 plus years old or whatever, but just off the bat, this was actually really good. All of the packaging was a lot easier to open than a lot of the MREs I remember that were normally stiff. Then you end up having to get out your knife and open stuff up, and you make a mess of things. The heater worked instantly. That's one of my biggest complaints about a lot of MRE heaters is that you literally have to do wizardry in the field to get those things to start working. But I added the recommended amount of water, and it just immediately was working. So that's fantastic. I'm actually kind of psyched about this. I'm actually very, very excited about this. I'm really glad that they sent this out to me. And, the Pink Spoon campaign, that's a really cool cause. Obviously, breast cancer is something that affects a lot of the women in our lives, and it's life changing for a lot of people. So, consider buying some of their MREs during the month of October, and help supporting that cause. That's a really awesome cause. I believe the rep that reached out to me and tried to talk to me about us doing this video for them said that this is the first year that they've done it, and I hope that they continue to do it. The MRE was fantastic. The cause is great, and honestly, the price is not bad. $12 for a brand new or nearly brand new manufactured MRE is a pretty good cost. All considered. Like I said, you get 1,200 calories or so out of something like this, and it's pretty slim as it is. It was a little bit slimmer than most MREs I probably remember packing. A lot of people talk about field stripping MREs and stuff, but there's really not much to strip here. There's not a lot of just extra trash. The only thing I can really think you could throw out is probably like the drink packet. You really don't need that, but the rest of this stuff it was good to go. So big fan of this, guys. I definitely will be buying some of these MRE Star MREs, especially with all the weirdness going on. And that raises the point, guys, that at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you are continuing to build on your preparedness, but also supporting American companies. With everything going on in the world right now and just the divide we have and how harsh it is economically, show some love to some American companies. And, if anything, it helps support, families working here at home. And then, of course, helps push and further your own preparedness. So, that's all I've got, guys, for this review of the MRE Star MREs. As always, train hard, train often. Yeah, this is delicious. I can't believe how good this was.